Hi, I'm Glenn Simpson, and I've collected comics for over 40 years, and I'm showing off my collection one box at a time. Today, we're looking at box number 29. We're going to start off with Battlestar Galactica. We're going to end with Birds of Prey. In the middle, we're going to have some Beware the Creeper, some Before the Fantastic Four, some things like that. So it's going to be a good time. Thanks so much for being here. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Let me know if there's any of these things that are in packs that you'd like to see what's inside them. I'll be happy to do a video for that. And let's get going with box number 29. All right, here we go. So we start with Battlestar Galactica #1. I don't have the full run of this. I've got just a respectable run of the first few issues. So we start with issue #1 of that. This is a Whitman copy on that. We've got a pack of issue #2 right here. We're continuing the actual sort of adaptation of the first episode. And then through issue #5. Right there, Walt Simonson doing art on that. Good stuff, good stuff. Got issue. Somehow I ended up with a lot of just non-newsstand copies on this. So that's a direct copy right here, issue 6. Okay. And then got issue 8. That with Rich Buckler on art. Issue 9, which is a big boy book. I think maybe 9 is the first issue that's not an adaptation of the TV show specifically. Not sure about that, but or off at the moment. But that's issue 9. We got issue 10 right there. Pat Braddock art. That's got to be kind of early for Pat Braddock. I'm not sure, but he's doing art on that cover. And got issue 11. Good old Starbuck. Oops. Good old Starbuck right there. Issue 13. Zap, zap, pew, pew. Got issue 14. What was his name? He wanders off. You know, the second threat to humanity was that kid, basically. And his wandering off and getting into what he didn't need to get into, so. Dewey, whatever his name was. And just when you thought we were done with all of the Bat books, alphabetically speaking, now we get to Batwing. So this was, his first issue is not considered his first appearance. I don't remember. He must have shown up somewhere in Batman Incorporated first, but so this is the 0 issue of this version of Batwing, which is the African hero, and that's issue 0. But of course, here's issue #1 of that. Judd Winnick writing. Couldn't have found a African American writer, but okay. And then we go to issue 8. He leaves Africa and comes to Gotham because Gotham needs another Bat-oriented hero. More like, I'm sure the book sales needed Batman to show up. Go to issue 9, but luckily he's in town long enough to take part in the Night of the Owls and fight a Talon or two. There. And we've got issue 18. Somebody, I think he's back home. His mentor gets killed or hurt. Right there. We are nearing the time when we're going to switch up who Batwing is. As he gets his armor all torn up. This was the month that all the DC books had like a fold-out cover. And we've got first full appearance of Luke Fox as Batwing. Not to be confused with Jace Fox as Batman. But this is Lucius Fox's son becoming a Bat dude. As you do. And he remains Batwing for the rest of the series. Gonna go up against Hawkman villain Lion Mane. Right there. He's got a little low detail cover here on Batwing 24. We've got what was Luke doing during the events of 0 year, Batman's first year. So somebody was having to do some math on ages right there. And the series ends with issue 34. Right there, didn't even make it all the way to 52. But he's still floating around here and there. He had a future Batwing Futures End one shot with the hologram. Good stuff. I can't wait. Is it working? Maybe it's working for you. I don't know. Hologram. Then we get into Batwoman. So this is her 0 issue one shot that came first, I think, after her run in Detective Comics, which we will see in a future video. And then she had another issue 0, which was the 0 issue related to her New 52 series. Right there. Kick you in the face. And then she starts her New 52 series right there. There's Bony Fish. Issue 4. That, I believe that's her sister Alice. As anyone who watched the show, all 12 of the people who watched the TV show are aware of. I'm terribly negative this morning. I don't know what's wrong with me. Anyway, that's continuing in issue 5 there. And we've got issue 12, Wonder Woman, hanging out with Batwoman, or Superwoman. We needed all 3. Got 13, Batwoman 13, continuing that team up with Wonder Woman right there. Some of these are very nostalgic in terms of, seeing the ads for the TV shows that were coming out at the same time. Issue 20 of Batwoman there. Issue 21, Batwoman against Killer Croc in his not quite as monstrous, still pretty monstrous mode. My theory is he shifts back and forth in his ailment. 1. Issue 28, Batwoman versus big old spider thing. Ick. Ugh. There. 29, Batwoman bringing back Nocturna from the pre-crisis days and making her more of a vampire, which she sort of looked like a vampire but wasn't, but now she really is. So she is fighting Batwoman in there. Batwoman 36, teaming up with the demon Etrigan, Jason Blood. There. Got Batwoman 37. We've got clay faces. We've got vampires. Man, what else could you want from a comic book? And then we've got issue 40. This was kind of when she had her own little team, protecting Gotham. Had Ragman, Alice trying to do right, Clayface trying to do right. But that was not enough, because 40 is the last issue of that series. Oops. Got issue, what is it, Annual 1, going up against, I believe, blah, 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 Mr. Bones. I think that's Mr. Bones, although Mr. Bones, oh yeah, he's got the cigarette and everything, yeah, that's their cigar and everything, that's Mr. Bones. He's just usually not kind of geared up like that. Annual 2, right there. Batwoman versus Big Hands, pulling her down. Probably more to the story. Then we get to DC Rebirth. We're going to keep on going with Batwoman. We've got Steve Epting from Captain America and Avengers coming in, doing some Batwoman. It's issue 1. Issue 6. This was Pax Batmana. I think this was an arc through all the books. It was kind of a weird world where everything in Gotham was perfect. Batman had achieved all his goals, or something like that. But it was just 1 month. But that's issue 6. Got issue 7. Batwoman going up against the Scarecrow, as one would be likely to do if one was a superhero in Gotham City. And we've got Batwoman 12. I think they had established that there was a year of her life that we didn't know about, everything that happened, and so this is going back and telling a story of her past. Right there. Issue 13, getting into some family secrets. Getting some family secrets of the Kane family. And issue 18, some more Batwoman right there. Batwoman 18. That was, yes, that was the last issue of that. The next book we have from that previous series, really. The Batwoman Futures End special. Let's see what her thing is. Sometimes she's got her mouth shut, sometimes it's open. Closed, open, closed, open. I think she's a vampire in that. From that Rebirth series. That's a pretty cover, actually. Dang, Steve Epting killing it. From when everybody was getting a Rebirth special. And that is officially the last book that has BAT at the start. So, everybody take a drink. Alright. Next we get to Beast. Beast gets a limited series wherein he does beast things. We have what we call an infinity cover. People used to make a big deal out of that, where the cover of the book is on the cover, and therefore the cover of the book is in that cover, and it goes to infinity. That's issue 1. Looks like a very 90s X-Men kind of thing. Got Robo Beast, Fighting Beast. Good stuff. Good stuff. We have a 4-issue miniseries starring Beast Boy of the Titans. Going back to his background, and he's living a new life in Los Angeles, I believe. Going back where he came from in some ways. That's issue number 1. And in issue 4, we have Flamebird, whom we've seen before, but now she's just getting this cool new suit and a new mission in life. And the background on the Flamebird name is way too much for me to get into in this video. Comment if you want me to do a video just explaining Flamebird. Cool, thanks. And we have Beauty and the Beast. This was Dazzler and the Beast teaming up. They're both in Hollywood. They kind of have a will they, won't they. Dr. Doom's involved. We get a lot of additional, not new mutants like New Mutants, but additional fresh mutants that we haven't met before. This is coming out of her one-shot where the whole world found out she was a mutant, and they really sort of began hitting hard on the world dislikes mutants kind of thing. And that goes through issue 4. It was actually the son of Doom. Turns out to be, no spoilers, it's a son of Doom is in there somewhere. Bill Sienkiewicz artwork on that series. Alphabetically, we get to Before. So one of those is Before the Fantastic Four, a little set of mini-series showing what each of the members of the Fantastic Four were doing before they became the Fantastic Four. So we have Soldier Ben Grimm going on a mission with Soldier Logan long before they would become the Thing and Wolverine. And that ends in issue number 3 as they fall from the sky and probably die. Right? No? And then in that we have Before the Fantastic Four, Reed Richards. He's got, he's kind of more of an Indiana Jones kind of thing. I think we had met this former love interest in over in Fantastic Four, and so we're seeing some more of their early relationship. But Reed Richards getting it done, and that culminates in issue 3 as well, with, of course, Doom, I believe, being around. And who have we got left? Well, we've got left the Storms. Got the brother-sister team having an adventure, and they're both young. And that's issue 1. And that goes through issue 3 right there. Pretty stuff. And we've got fairly recent Ben Reilly Spider-Man series, which was a flashback to the time of when Ben Reilly had taken Peter Parker's place as Spider-Man and was the blonde-haired barista. So this was the first issue of that. And then that culminates in a big fight with Swarm and some other folks there in issue 5. Got Ben Reilly, Scarlet Spider. This was actually, not a flashback. This was happening, I think, at the time. This was at a time when he was post Spider-Man, but he was still around, and he's doing his thing as the Scarlet Spider. Will join and have me doing spider things the way a spider can. So that was one. Issue 8. Going up against the Hornet. Hornet being actually a alternate identity that Peter Parker had taken on for a while, and then some other dude got the suit and became the Hornet, and this might even be the third person being the Hornet, really, because guy number 2 was not a bad guy or something. I don't know. Anyway, so that's issue 8. We got Mark Bagley on art, always a great thing. Mark Bagley, very prolific artist. We've got continuing the Scarlet Spider Hornet fight in issue number 9. Right there. Then we get to issue 15. We've got Mephisto, timely, and Scarlet Spider being in the Damnation crossover with several with Doctor Strange and Ghost Rider. They're in Vegas. I believe Mephisto opens a casino, if I remember correctly. We got issue 16 continuing that. We got Kane helping out with the Scarlet Spider, although he's also a Scarlet Spider. So I think there's more than one. I think they're sharing the name at that point, maybe not voluntarily. Then we go to issue 20. Ben, why is he's menacing these people? I think something has taken over his mind or whatever, because he's looking scurry right there. Issue 20. Issue 21, going up against Sauron, not the Lord of the Rings Sauron, but the pterodactyl guy Sauron. And then that series will end with with Ben Reilly, the Scarlet Spider, number 25. Right there. Born 19, died in 20. Use real years. And we're going to shift gears a bit to Betsy Braddock, Captain Britain, from a few years ago. She has she's back in her own body, instead of being in the Psylocke body, and she's going on, and she's in a relationship with Rachel Gray, and her bro is around, and they're having an adventure. That's issue 1, and that one ends in issue 5. It's kind of funny, when Brian was Captain Britain, all of the multiversal Captain Britons all kind of look like him, or were variations on him mostly. Now that she's Captain Britain, all the Captain Britons are sort of mostly female and variations on her. Right there. That's issue 5. Right now we're going to get to something a little more classic. I fell in love with the Creeper as a younger man, so I did go back and get all of his appearances, and that includes his first series. So we've got Creeper number 1. Or Beware the Creeper. That's why you're seeing it now. Beware the Creeper. And he's fighting the Menace. Steve Ditko cover on that. And then we've got issue 2. The Creeper goes up against Proteus. We would see Proteus again at some point in the future, I seem to recall. rest of the series, which includes issue 3, Creeper on the Isle of Fear. And that's all bundled up with the Creeper being in Beware the Creeper number 6. Kane doing the cover this time. Lots of nostril. Going back up against against the Proteus, which that wasn't what I meant earlier, but it's issue 6. And DC would try to kind of bring back the character in a way in a Vertigo book. I picked this up in various dollar boxes over time. Beware the Creeper is this 1920s totally different character. Here's issue 1 of that Vertigo series, and that ends with issue 5 right there. So she was some sort of socialite who would take on this identity of the Creeper to go and disrupt, bad people, things like that. Had this interesting series called Beyond, which was kind of a team-up book. This team is all called together to deal with an issue. We have Gravity, we got Medusa, Spider-Man, Red Hood, the Son of Craven, a version of Venom. I think that's the one that is Matt Gargan, the former Scorpion. We got Wasp. Don't remember. I think is that Hank Pym. Maybe not. Can't remember. Don't quote me with that. And Firebird from the West Coast. So that's the team that gets together, and I think it has something to do with the Beyonder. That's issue 1. And then they all die at the end. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. But we apparently had some Deathlock show up in there somewhere, and so this is an interesting series. Dwayne McDuffie, the late Dwayne McDuffie, doing the writing on that. Then I got this. My stepson used to do Loot Crate, and at some point I got him to give me all the comic books that were in various loot crates, and so I ended up with this Big Trouble in Little China meets Escape from New York, Loot Crate exclusive, issue 1 of 6. But I don't have the rest of that one, but that's a funny idea, because I assume nobody mentions that they look so much alike, because look how different they are, right? So there you go. Then, alphabetically speaking, we've got Bill Black's Fun Comics, and featuring Captain Paragon. Did I mention that I just love superheroes? I don't care. I just love superheroes. And we've got some of these. This AC stuff was fun to look at. Pat Broderick again doing artwork on that. So groovy stuff. There's only one issue of that. I think the title changes after that. But then we're getting into Birds of Prey. We'll be cruising along with the birds for a while here in this long-running series. We got first issue right here, Breaking Hearts and Faces Monthly. We start off with just Barbara Gordon as Oracle, sending Black Canary on missions. I thought that would have been actually a great idea for a TV show, but then they turned it into a TV show and then didn't do what the actual premise of the book that seemed to be such a good idea for a TV show. But anyway, we've got issue 1 there. We've got issue 3 right there. And I thought that there was a goal. I guess I'm misremembering. I thought there was a goal of having Barbara on the cover of every issue, even though she was back home. But I guess not, or maybe they missed an issue here and there. Maybe it wasn't every book, every copy, but I think they were trying to get her on the cover, even though she was Black Canary was the one out doing the more exciting things. Anyway, there's issue 3. And then we go to issue 4. Return of the Ravens, the mercenaries that Black Canary goes up against, including Cheshire and Gun Bunny, and I don't remember her name. That's issue 4. And issue 7, right there. This is, of course, covers by Greg Land before he became so known for doing what seemed to be a lot of tracing and stuff. Seems to be more original art. We've got this issue 8, which is a popular book. I think it's because it just really is the first time we cement the notion that these two are in love, hooking up. I thought it was interesting, showing how someone who does not have that kind of control over their legs would need to do what they need to do when doing trapeze. But this is a very popular issue. It's a good story. Issue 9, right there. Saving Private Dinah. Got world-spanning 007-esque stuff going on. Got issue 13. We've got Catwoman joining for the fun. There's her tail. And heading over into Apocalypse for vacation, right? That's where you go on vacation. When you're in Apocalypse, you're probably going to run into Lashina of the female Furies, and she's going to wrap things up for you. Get a little Silence of the Lambs action with Barbara interacting with the Joker, who is of course the one who shot her and put her in the wheelchair. And Butch Geis doing art on this. Great artist. Early on, we had been told, Oracle calls on Power Girl, this was her suit at the time, to help out, and Power Girl's all like, "I told you never to call me again," and we don't know why any of that is, but that's mentioned here. But Power Girl decides to work with her and do what she needs doing, probably because the other two are in Apocalypse at the time. And then we've got issue 20. This time Oracle's missing, so the hunt for Oracle was a crossover through all the books. Black Canary going up against a couple of those bad guys whose names escape me at the moment. Got issue number 21, continuing the hunt for Oracle. Oracle getting herself out of a bind on her own. She is fully capable of doing that. And we've got this storyline that was featured Deathstroke coming to a conclusion right there. Forget who that blondie is, but good stuff. We got 25. We had Ted Cord, the Blue Beetle, hanging out, doing a bit of a will they won't they with Oracle as well. She got men's all over the place. Butch Guy's still doing art right there. We got 28. Black Canary sent back to the past in Viking times, trying to make her way back, probably hanging out with the Viking prince, as you do. Sent back to Viking times. We've got the return of the Ravens. Cheshire and Gun Bunny and Other Girl that I don't remember. They're back there as well, and they're gonna. I think they're on opposite. One of those. They're on opposite sides. And then they got to team up, and then they got to call a truce to get back home, kind of thing. We have a little jump to issue 36, where the Joker has figured out he's dying, and so he's going around and turning other people and villains into Jokers. So we got Black Canary going up against Copperhead, and what's his name? It's the name of a bug. I can't remember, but she's got to deal with that. Ed McGuinness on cover there. Cool stuff. Birds of Prey 37. I forget why this is a big boy book, but it's a higher priced issue. Got Blue Beetle, got Black Canary, all those teams. Phil Noto doing artwork on that. He's got a very interesting style. Continuing that Phil Noto art. Birds of Prey 38. This was that month that all the logos were not like just normal logos. It was always something funky going on with the artwork, spelling out the name of the book in some way. That's issue 38. Jump to 44. We've got Connor Hawke. This is a great book for just getting an overview of the overall DC universe. I should probably start recommending it that way if people ask how to get started with DC. You got Connor Hawke right there. We've got 45. Phil Noto doing Deathstroke. It's clearly the villain on this. For you Deathstroke fans, this might be a book that you might want to pick up. The package continues all the way to 52. Canary's cornered, Oracle attacked, and Gilbert Hernandez and Casey Jones doing artwork on this. They were not typical DC artists, so special issue there. That continues into 53, right there. People are on vacation. Got issue 55, right there, going through. Who is this dude? I don't know. Read the book. Then we get kind of a new era for Birds of Prey because we have Ed Benez coming on, and he has that very sort of sexy art style and really kind of cheesecakes it up a bit, but in this bold new direction. We've got Oracle and Black Canary back at our original team. We've got issue 60. Got the hunt for Black Canary. We had the hunt for Oracle before. But my arm is broken, so then who is that kind of thing? Right there. We've got issue 61. Making some tough choices. Huntress comes along with her ab window. Some Cass Kane. There. 68. This doofus that keeps finding himself all wrapped up in the middle of things. Greg Land is back, but now he's in full lightbox mode. So, don't hate it, but I know a lot of people are, feel like that's low effort. So that's issue 68. Got issue 69. Right there. Blank on artist's name. Might be more recognizable on the next issue. By the way, we're being written by Gail Simone, great writer. There. 72. Greg Land. There. Vixen. We've got Vixen hanging out with the birds of prey. To issue 73. Right there. Vixen and Huntress. The eyes have it. Right there. Birds of Prey. Issue 76. Mike Golden, classic DC and Marvel artist, doing that cover, I believe. There. Got Lady Blackhawk joining the team. She hasn't already. Got Birds of Prey 77. Another Mike Golden cover. Facing the Dark Harvest. Got Ed Benez is back, and with Huntress and her ab window mission to visiting Metropolis. There. Got Black Canary and Wildcat, to Justice Society pals. I knew your mother. Get together on an adventure there. And 81, 88. Got some things going wrong with Oracle and her identity as such. I think somebody tries to hijack that. Got 89, that guy from way back at the beginning of the series, remember, with the dogs. He's back. Black Spider, we see him every once in a while. They're teamed up. And good doggy. We got 96, some Jerry Ordway artwork on the cover here. Black Alice is showing up. She basically can steal the powers or duplicate the powers of any magical character in the DC universe. Right there. She's in Birds of Prey 96. And we've got 97. Like Alice telling them to keep out. She's taking over this town. Blah blah blah. And then we end this box with part of a team up between the Birds of Prey and the Secret Six, which was Gail Simone's other book that she was writing at the time. So got Catman, Ragman, and Big Barda going at it. So look at it that way too. Good times. All right, and that's that box. All right, that was box 29. The next time we'll do box 30. We'll pick back up with Birds of Prey, and we will go all the way through Black Hood in that box. So I hope you'll be here. Thanks again for joining me, and I hope you have a great day.